My name is Zach Johnson. Pete Grebe and I will be discussing the evolution of cattle farming during the 1860s and 70s. Americans moving westward in search of wealth found such results from cattle herding on the trails and open plains in the Midwest. Cowboys had been viewed as wild frontiersmen that would ride around on their horses in their small towns from saloon to saloon, causing trouble, but the rise of the cattle market changed this view so that cowboys became seen as self-reliant entrepreneurs and were glorified by the Easterners. The cowboys themselves would not make much money from their professions on the trails. In fact, they made as much money as the average worker in a factory, which was just over $7 a week, even though the cowboys would risk their lives protecting cattle herds against the thieves that would try to rob them. Cattle herders started as the businessmen moving west that were searching for a source to pay off their debt from building railroad tracks. Joseph G. McCoy, for example, realized that cattle in Texas were worth much less than they were in the eastern markets. Cattle herders were able to make much profit off of their cattle. However, the Panic of 1873 caused many cattle owners to go bankrupt and started the decline of the cattle herding era. Nat Love represented the fifth of cowboys that weren't white. He was a former slave that became very popular for his stereotypical cowboy appearance and his skills with herding cattle. On the contrary, William Bonney, better known as Billy the Kid, was famous for being an outlaw and cattle thief that would raid cattle from cattle drives and cause shootouts and more violence. He was responsible for many murders and helped in even more. He escaped from jail just before his sentence hanging when he slipped out of handcuffs and used the guard's own weapon to kill him. However, Billy the Kid would eventually be caught and killed at the age of 21. Many cities' populations grew exponentially during the cattle boom, such as towns like Abilene, Wichita, and Dodge City in Kansas. These towns were usually near the railroads in order to send cattle to the eastern markets. As they started, the towns were plagued with violence and a lack of order. Wild Bill Hickok helped restore order as a marshal in the new town.
Prostitution was a thriving business in the cattle towns that was possible because of the large number of saloons and cowboys that were young men without a wife. Women of all ethnicities participated for different reasons. Most women started to attempt to escape debt or domestic violence. Others were forced into prostitution, such as Chinese immigrants. In conclusion, cowboys, cattle towns, and the frontier in the West shaped American culture and beliefs. It also helped many Americans strike it rich and make a profit, while others struggled to avoid bankruptcy.